I want to get your take on the 2 hours of television you witnessed tonight.
The first thing is, I watched the debate, and they watch it. I'm watching this debate through the lens of a South Carolina Democrat. If I do that, Joe Biden won that debate. He was relevant. He kept coming back to his time with Obama, who was very popular among South Carolina Democrats. He was up against the wall. He's got to win Saturday, and I thought he had the kind of best debate. I was really surprised that the coronavirus thing didn't come up until Bloomberg brought it up at an hour 7. And in the question, but more discussion Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and we had you talk about a kitchen table issue.
It's a clear and present danger.
People have lost 5% of the thing. They're scared to death about it. And the Trump administration has no idea of what they're doing. And I just thought this was a chance to really be more relevant about what people are thinking, what people are talking about in this race. Bernie Sanders, this is the first time he's really gotten roughed up a little bit, and he didn't like it. I think he looked like he had a cold. It was just something, he wasn't terrible. Don't get me wrong, I'm not, calm down, Bertie Rose. But he was just a little off. He just wasn't quite himself, and they came at him a couple of ways.
He got booed for the first time in a forum like this.
Yeah.
That counts, that hurts.
And, Mayor Pete, he did well. I mean, I don't know if he gets lost in the background. And I think Bloomberg, I was surprised. He was better than I thought he could be. He wasn't like John F. Kennedy, but he was better than I thought he'd be.
And what about Warren? What about Klobuchar?
Warren gives you the impression that she'd rather beat Bloomberg than win herself. Okay? I mean, and she is really a talented person, but she probably need a little more finesse. She really hit Bloomberg hard on the question of non-disclosures. She kept going back to that, and I don't think she did that well. I mean, Klobuchar and Steyer both did very well. The question is anybody going to remember it?
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.